I can't understate this. This is gonna be a very quick video, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. muOS just released a new update called Refried Beans, and it's everything that we ever wanted from a custom firmware. This version of muOS is borderline perfect, okay? I'm just gonna brush through some main highlights of it that matter to me and which I'm convinced also matters to you. But I dare say that this version of muOS makes it possible for us to have a custom firmware that I can finally compare to OnionOS. And if you know me, you know just how huge of a sentence that is, because OnionOS has always been on a freaking pedestal. It's been the one thing that kept Mio alive, and no other custom firmware reached its level up until now. It simply feels way more stable. There's always a catch. So yeah, wait for later, because there's actually quite a big bug which might or might not bother you. And I could go through all the changes that they did, which are a freaking lot, but perhaps the one thing that got me so excited is that I can finally manage to replicate the hibernate functionality, which wasn't really hibernate but still, that we had on OnionOS. And it does it beautifully. Honestly, it does it so beautifully that I just want to cry. And SP owners would be happy to hear that this muOS version actually has support for the lid. So you can either turn the lid off for it to shut down like I did now, but muOS allows you to actually make this functionality a million times better. Not only can you have it turn off when you close the lid or go in standby or blah blah blah, but you can now also have muOS quick resume whatever you are playing. And this is quite actually very simple to do. You just have to go in the apps section inside muOS, then you go into the RetroArch settings, you go into the saves entry, and then you have to tick two boxes there, which are called auto save state and auto load state. Then we exit the RetroArch settings, we go to the muOS settings, and then we make sure, let me check. I actually need to check this just so I'm not speaking out of my backside. So then we go to the configuration settings, general settings, and in the sleep shutdown settings, you'll have to put 5 minutes or something like this, which means that it will sit in standby when you close the lid, and after 5 minutes, it closes. But there's also one more very important entry in the settings, which is called device startup. And here, I would really advise you to select resume game or the history tab. Resume game basically means that once you close the lid while in the middle of a game, if it eventually shuts down, then when muOS boots up, it will boot you up right where you left off in the game, which is exactly how OnionOS used to work, and in my personal opinion, this was the one diamond tier feature that OnionOS had, which for some reason wasn't really copied by anyone else, and now we can replicate it in muOS. I swear, I'm like, I don't know how to describe this, like, I'm unconditionally happy. This made me so freaking excited. Like, no joke, most custom firmwares, in my humble opinion, are now instantly second place. This will be my new daily driver. There's no ifs, there's no but. muOS is better than anything that we have in terms of software now for Linux-based Anbernic devices. It's that simple. It's got the same spirit as OnionOS, but with a muOS spin. In fact, I shouldn't say this. The muOS devs really want muOS to not be compared with other custom firmwares. So I'll rephrase. muOS is uniquely different, which reminds me of why I loved OnionOS in the first place. And honestly, I couldn't ask for more. And you might say, oh Vlad, but Batocera 40, Vlad Nuli. Yeah, they're nice. When it comes to UI and animations and video previews, yeah, they are the best. I'm not gonna contradict you on that, my dear nerd. To each their own. We all have preferences. But this flipping OS gets out of the way, just lets you enjoy games, and you can have it be so freaking invisible that when you boot it up, you're just there. You're just literally there in your game, where you left off. And that's what I personally find magical. And on the SP, you can just flip the lid, come back. Whenever you come back, you open it back on and you continue with your game. How beautiful is this? And this is actual sleep mode. I mean, it consumes quite a lot of battery. I think it's an SoC limitation. You will have a battery drain of approximately 4% per hour if you don't let it shut down after 5 minutes like I showed you. But if you let it shut down, the same thing that I loved about my Mio Mini happens, meaning that it can seemingly stay shut down for weeks or even months. When you come back, you're simply plopped back in the game where you left off. And I think that's beautiful. That's what a firmware should do, my dear nerds. With this current configuration, which I quickly breezed through, if you have any questions about it, by the way, ask me in the comments, I'm gonna answer. But the beautiful thing is that if you get a little distracted, like if somebody asks you a question, or you need to answer a Slack message, or you need to wiggle your mouse so your boss still thinks you're online at work, then you can quickly close it, you do your things, you do your whatever little distraction, and then you're just right there in a split second. Or if you let it shut down, muOS boots quite rapidly. So yeah, so far, I don't want to over-dramatize, but I'm in perpetual shock. I didn't expect to feel quite such a big difference from the previous muOS version to this one. But that's how I know that the muOS devs, like, they must be breaking their flipping backs with working on this, and that's something that I can appreciate. But I should take my nose out of muOS's backside for a second, and I should stop praising it, because there's actually a game-breaking bug which might make you want to hold on until they fix this. So one of the main highlights of this muOS version is that they actually made HDMI out work properly. I connected this to my TV. I had a very beautiful image and I had pristine sound coming from the handheld to my TV.
So the sound was, this is the good part.
Everything worked as expected, okay? But the second I disconnected my SP from my TV, the sound simply stopped working on the SP. This is basically a bug where muOS still tries to output the sound to a TV that's now unplugged, so you won't have sound. And this doesn't get fixed with a restart. You can reboot it a million times, you can pray to it, you can beg your SP to work. Nothing will work. You can even nuke your RetroArch settings. That won't work either. The only thing that fixes it is if you reflash the card. And by the way, in case you don't know this already, in order to install muOS on this card, you have to take their image from their website. I'm gonna put it in my video description. You're gonna have to get this tiny app called Rufus, which helps you flash the image onto an SD card. Then you plop the SD card in your Anbernic whatever Linux device, RG35XXSP, RG35XX H. This even works with the RG28XX, which muOS is perfect for, by the way. It's actually a perfect match. So yeah, unfortunately, if you make the mistake of trying to play anything on a TV, you will have to reflash the card. But the good news is that the muOS devs are aware of this bug. As far as I understood from one of the guys on the server, they already have a fix for it, so we might probably see a hotfix build, or in the worst case scenario, it's gonna be totally fixed in the next muOS build. But outside of this, if you don't plan on using HDMI out, what else is there that you might want, my dear nerd? Like, this is perfect. I hope you know that I'm not sugarcoating anything that I talk about or that I review, but this is the Narnia of custom firmwares. This is what I loved about OnionOS finally being somehow transplanted by a different team with totally different talent on Anbernic hardware, and I love them for this. And I just had to push this video out. It's 1:12 AM as I'm recording this, and I'm not sorry. This is gonna forever change the retro handheld field. Like, Anbernic was already pretty much starting to dominate everywhere, and now that they have such a custom firmware, I just can't see them stopping. It's like the secret sauce that made Mio what it was before Anbernic extended their tentacles everywhere. I'm just happy that we, as consumers, as fans, as people who adore these freaking outlets towards a simpler world where we didn't have rent and taxes to pay, I'm just happy these mother flippers are on our side. Besides the HDMI out thing, this is perfect. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. This video will not be as polished, but holy heck, I needed to shout about this in the dark void of the internet where you guys might hear my echoes, because this is important. This is way more important than 10 flipping device releases. We finally have good custom firmware, one that I can honestly be proud of. So my dear nerds, my appeal to you, oh god, I'm sweaty, it's like 36 degrees Celsius here. My dear nerds, my appeal to you is, no matter what you have currently in your life, if you have like half an hour to tinker with your Anbernic devices, give muOS a shot. I thought that where they were in the last two releases was worthy of our attention, but this release is what I would call God tier. There's no other way around it. And I'm banking on the fact that maybe, just maybe, the muOS devs actually see this video right now. Please, pretty please, the one thing that you need to work on, you basically nailed most of the stuff, but most of your effort should now go into over-the-air updates. Look, I choose to believe in nerd Viking gods, and in the name of the nerd Viking gods that I believe will one day ascend all of us in Nerdania, I hope that you guys realize that doing things like Anbernic does, where we have to nuke our SD cards for each flipping update, I hope you know that that's horrible. I just want to be able to update this in a seamless manner like I could with Onion OS. If you do this one extra thing, I'm gonna love you forever. So do what's right. Become one of the special members that ascend to Nerdania and do what you know is right. After you do all the bug fixes that you need, concentrate on over-the-air updates. So yeah, my dear nerds, this is all from me. If you haven't subscribed yet, do me this favor and subscribe. I love seeing you guys subscribe. It's one of the best pleasures in life to see you guys subscribe. There's you guys subscribing, then there's the hug of a loved one. You guys subscribing are on the top. So give me that dopamine, subscribe, I will love you forever. And also, if you want to support me more directly, please feel free to join my Wall of Fame, where all of these awesome people are, by either becoming a channel member or a Patreon. It doesn't matter which one you choose, you end up on this Wall of Fame anyway. And depending on the tier that you choose, your name will be bigger and bigger and bigger and will occupy more space on my Wall of Fame. So yeah, this is about it, my dear nerds. And tell me what you think of muOS. Are you gonna try it? Are you excited about it? You should be excited about it. You know, you have free will to do whatever you want to do, but in this case, your free will basically translates to you being right and installing muOS, or you being wrong and not seeing the light, and you not experiencing one of, you know, the tiny glimpses of happiness, pure joy, pure little windows of happiness that this life offers us. muOS is one of those tiny little glimpses. You see, now it shuts down because I've been babbling for more than 5 minutes, and if I turn it on, actually, I'm not gonna edit or cut this part, you need to see how fast it loads. And I'm instantly back in the game. This, remember, can be transposed to any period of time. With this current structure, it can be turned off for literal months, you will not drain any battery, and you are still right there where you left off. And this is not a feature that you can only use on the Anbernic RG35XX SP. This is a feature that you can use on any supported device, which is the RG28XX, RG35XX H, RG35XX Plus, and 2024 edition. But yeah, my dear nerds, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'll make sure to read each and every one of them. I love you all, remember this, and see you next time, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.